Hi traders, welcome to the weekly Forex forecast for the 6th of May. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. We're going to go through the markets. We're going to confirm what is trending for next week so we can get you the targets, get you into the markets to show you what's working. And also, I'm going to be going into price action. I'm going to be analyzing all these assets. Whatever's happening with them, I will confirm it and give you some idea of what's going to go on for next week. So let's start with the DXY. We can see that DXY is parabolic to the downside. We do have all the sellers in. However, we do have something else going on. So let me explain. Price action says there could be a potential bounce here. And as per last week, I had a target of 106.84. It didn't come to fruition. We had non-farm payroll last week, didn't we, which drove the dollar weaker. However, we can see that it's moving into high liquidity zone here. This blue zone is high liquidity and indicates that we could see a bounce in the coming days. And that's going to be very interesting for the dollar. Also, we can see the long-term trend. This is what we call convergence in price action terms. And so this is highly likely to move up to our previous target from last week, 106.84. We saw some intervention last week with the yen, and this drove the yen futures higher. However, I'm not convinced of this. Over my 30 years of trading, I've seen this many times where the government's tried to intervene with the yen in particular, and it just simply doesn't work. And it takes a long time to come to fruition. So we do expect further weakness in the yen. As you can see, this is in a massive downtrend and in a wedge formation and a channel formation, which is highly likely to go back down to 63.73 and then on to 61.80. This means there's great opportunities for the yens, and I'm going to cover those in the next few minutes. Fantastic opportunities not to be missed for next week. In terms of the Swiss franc futures, this is doing similar things as per the yen futures as well. Into a deep downtrend, got a bit of retracement going on, probably going to push up a bit higher into convergence before it pushes back down to 109.03. This means that this could, if it continues up, this means that Swiss pairs, franc pairs are going to go weaker. Into a correction in the next week or so, but back to 109.03. The Dow Jones is back on into the trend. We've had change of character on the lower time frame, so we do expect this to go higher. It came into liquidity here, if you saw that, from last week, 37.348, and now we have a new target of 39.666. Just remember that all the information is for educational purposes only. Do your own research, make your own decisions, and trade at your own risk. Of course, I will update VIP members every day during the full market analysis. So I do this every day on the lower time frames, so you get the trailing stops and the targets as well. The FTSE is parabolic to the upside. All the buyers are in, as you can see, so that's what we want to see. And these are the most powerful trends that you can get, and they can move thousands and thousands of points within a few weeks. So hit our first target last week of 80.43, then it was 79.10 the week before, and now heading for 83.11. Nasdaq is doing something as well. This follows the Dow, of course, and we do expect this further upside. It's hitting liquidity again, which is highly reliable, especially on the lower time frames. If you are an intraday trader, fantastic way to trade on the price action chart. So look out for that. We're doing a special offer on the price action charts if you're interested, but it is limited and only a few spaces left. So it came into liquidity, as you can see, 17.165, and then bounced up. This is what we call convergence. This is a fantastic way to trade. If you come just starting to trade, then convergence is where the price is coming into an area where there's basically a brick wall, and there's several indicators here, price action indicators, which tell you which direction it's going to bounce to. So we do expect a bit of a pullback in the next few days, but then on to 18.244. That's our weekly target. The yellow zone is a sell area. This is where there's lots of orders. This is the supply zone, and therefore we do expect a pullback on the Hang Seng in the next few days, but we do expect this to go further up side and break that area and head for 19,685. Congratulations last week if you traded the Hang Seng and hit our target of 17,190. The Aussie 200 is parabolic to the downside, but there is something going on. This is now hitting an area of importance, and this is hitting this support line here. However, it's not converging with the liquidity. So this is highly likely to continue up into the trend. Back down into the trend because of that weakness, and it's no convergence. But there is a bit of support here, as I say. So this could go either way. Certainly looking very weak at the moment. So it probably be driving down to 7421. I'm going to be doing not just the parabolic trends. I'm going to be doing all the assets today, so it will be a bit longer. Hopefully that's okay. As we can see from the S&P 500, this is not parabolic, but it's close and could turn any moment. This is going upwards. It could turn down if the Dow turns down, but I suspect this is going to hold. This is convergence again, so this is highly likely to come up to our previous target of 5587. The DAX is in a downward channel, as we can see, so there is an opportunity here on the price action chart. So if you've got those, then fantastic. If it breaks this channel, then we could see further upside as well. So again, this is not clear, but I just want to highlight these things to you just to help you out. So we could see this going on in the next week, and our target is 19,346. Not parabolic, however, a nice trade is possible. Now, in terms of oil, all the sellers are in. It's broken this channel here, so there is an element of weakness. So our target is going to be $71.34. However, there's always a however. We can see that the price is now moving into a wave 4 channel from a wave 3. And so the wave analysis does say to us this is going to start to move up in the next few days. So this is one to watch. If the wave 4 takes over, we need to wait for this price to move above this area here. If I can draw that line somewhere around there before it starts to move up. There is some kind of channel here, which is probably going to be held, to be fair. So something needs to happen for this to move up. And that is the channel there. Okay, so we need to see this channel broken into this range here, where it will start to move up to $91.66. So for now, it is weak, continued weak. We'll be trailing the stop with VIP members every day. So I can show you that now, actually. Let's do that. So there's the 4-hour chart, and all we do is move our stops. We'll be moving our stop to that area, 81.31, and as it moves down, we'll continue to move our stop. Again, we're getting a bit technical this week with the weekly Forex forecast, because we're not seeing many parabolic trends, especially in terms of the dollar and the yens or even the Swiss franc. So best to actually analyze it from a price action perspective so that you can get a better trade analysis and obviously give you more opportunities for successful trades during your week of trading. Whether you're with us as VIP members or not, I'd like to help you get into better trades every day if possible. So the Bitcoin, for instance, is not parabolic. We don't have any clear sense of a trend. As you can see, it's starting to achieve a lower highs, a lower lows. However, there is a wave 4 going on here. The first thing to note is that the channel, the upward channel for the long-term trend, is up, and it's coming into convergence area, but it's converging with these massive trend lines here and holding on to that structure. And we have a wave 4 as well. So what's likely to happen is we're going to see something going on in Bitcoin. Now, I've predicted $100,000 since December, and I think that's going to be happening by next month. So any kind of break here is going to head for $77,246, then on to $90,069, then the big one, $110,815. All right, so it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Once we see this break, I will let you know. And if it goes parabolic, we're going to be in it. Silver, in terms of silver, I've gone into a bit more technical analysis, as you can see with the price action charts. We do have a parabolic trend down to the downside. As you can see, all the sellers are in, which is what we want to see. And of course, the price has moved down and the candles are red. That's the clue. So when we see the candles green, parabolic to the upside, red, parabolic to the downside, along with our sellers. Now we can see that the wave analysis is coming into a wave 5. So there's likely to be a pullback in the next week, and $27.86 is the initial target. Let me put that on for you. Somewhere around there. That is the pullback on a 50% retracement of the previous down move, and then it'll be heading south to continue that wave 5 on to $25.70. So this is getting deeper into the market now to help you make better decisions. This move up, even though it's parabolic to the downside, is a tradable event if you've got the price action charts. This is a tradable event if you've got the price action charts or the advanced pro charts. So great opportunities coming, guys. So look out for that. In terms of gold, congratulations this week, traders. We had some fantastic moves, over 300 pips on one day, then 100 pips. And then we had non-farm payroll. So that's always a lot of fun. So it's a similar situation for gold technically, and we can see that it is parabolic to the downside. We do expect further downside momentum to continue, especially if the dollar is going to go stronger. Okay, that's the correlation usually. Now, gold does trade on its own in terms of a safe haven. So if there's any trouble in the Middle East or whatever in the world, then people tend to grab on to gold. But nonetheless, we have to trade what we see, not what we think. So what we see here is a downtrend. All the sellers are in. So that is exactly what we're looking to do. But again, like silver, there's likely to be a little pullback up to 23.54 before the price moves down to 22.17. Make note of these numbers because they are massive. And is this a tradable event during the week? Of course it is. Of course it is. Price is 23.01. So it gives you lots of opportunities to grab on to a nice number there, a few hundred pips. Let's go into the dollar. Now I know it's not parabolic, but at least we can see what's going on. And if you're a euro dollar trader, then it's helpful for you guys out there. Now we can see that this is achieving lower highs and lower lows. So therefore you've got a downward channel. We could see the price move up into this liquidity zone. That is a massive selling area. However, we could see it just move up to this resistance area at the top of this trend channel before it moves down to 105.55. Similar situation for the pound USD, a channel not coming into liquidity yet. However, liquidity could soon be with us in the next few days, beginning next week. So just be aware of that. Any kind of rollover to here, especially if the dollar goes stronger, then this will drive the price down to 123.20 or even deeper to 121.74. Not parabolic, not in a trend, but nonetheless, technically, there are these positions to be had which will benefit you and make you more successful in terms of your trades. US yen, looking good. Now, I'm going to be talking more about the yens in the next few minutes. They are looking fantastic. It's an opportunity not to be missed. So, In terms of the US yen, we can see that the sellers are all in. However, there is a however, isn't there? As you can see, into a wave 5, and it looks like this is going to go back up from this convergence area. It's not in liquidity. I would prefer to see it coming down and bouncing off this area like this. However, there is support for this price, and therefore, if the dollar goes stronger and the the yen futures goes weaker, then this will drive this price up to 156.91. US Swiss, the opposite to the euro dollar, of course, into a wave 5. Not quite sure with this one. Looks like it wants to start to move up, back up to this uptrend if the dollar goes strong to 93.89. Aussie USD is red hot. This is red hot. Okay, if the dollar goes strong, this is going to go down. It's into liquidity now at 66.46. It hit our last week's target. Our next week's target is 64.21. Could go even deeper to the next level, 62.63. I'll keep you updated every day during these opportunities because they are massive. Similar to the Kiwi, of course, they do exactly the same thing. Don't trade both, and trade at your own risk, of course. Into liquidity, this is convergence at its very best. So once you see convergence, this is a trading opportunity not to be missed, heading for 58.02. US Canadian I don't like. Okay. Take a deep breath. Here we go with the yens. We always do very well with the yens once they start to move, and this is getting ready. So Canadian yen, this will be ready by Monday. So if you're in my Forex signal group, get ready. If you're not in my Forex signal group, well, tough. But if you want to join, that's fine as well. Up to you. I'm not bothered either way. I make no money in the markets. So it's up to you if you want to become a member, a VIP member, or Forex Signal Group, or the Gold Signal Group, or you want the Advanced Pro charts, or you want the price action charts. Totally up to you. I don't do any promotions. I'm not bothered about paying or getting views or whatever. It makes no difference to me. So anyway, we've got a wave 4 going on. This is fantastic. It doesn't get any better than this. This is what I'm trying to tell you. This is convergence. See this trend here? This is liquidity. This is where the institutions are getting ready to buy. They've already got their orders on ready. Okay, this is going to go higher. Now I've done a fib extension, so the target is 119.02. Get ready on Monday. Similar situation for the New Zealand yen. However, it's not quite as good, is it? Hopefully you can see this. Not quite hitting liquidity. Now, this is what I want to see. This is the demand zone, whatever you want to call it, order blocks. For me, it's liquidity. This is where all the big money is getting ready to rock and roll. So we do have a target of 93.07. It is in a wave 5 kind of thing. But again, we do expect this to move up before it moves down possibly, but not the best trade. So this is not the best one. Canadian yen so far is the best one. Now this is the Aussie yen. Again, I'm showing you these because I really want you to recognize the difference between a great trading opportunity, which is going to give you great success, other than a trade that might work and it might just not work. Do you know what I mean? So as you can see, I would prefer to see the price coming down deeper into liquidity and then moving to our target 105.48. We're not seeing that yet. So there are better trades to be had because I want a deeper correction in the market. Pound yen. Now this is red hot as well. Now, there's a difference between this and the Canadian. I hope you can see that. This is in a wave 5 pattern. Wave 5 pattern is the end of the trend that it's been in for some time, where we've grabbed several thousand pips on its way. So this is still a fine trade, but you can see that it may well be limited by the wave 5 ABC pattern. So we've got a wave 5 into an A, B, C pattern, which could go down to 186.81. However, this is a tradable event. So understanding this is a tradable event up to 195.98, 196. Now currently 191.81. So there's 300 or 400 pips there to be had on that correction up to this area here, which is now resistance. Now the long-term trend, if it's going to come in, is 202.39. However, understanding that the wave ABC pattern in the wave 5 is highly likely to have a correction as well at some stage. It could convert into another pattern in the week. However, we can only go by what we see. So pound yen is red hot, but limited to 200 or 300 or 400 pips. Swiss yen, again, as you can see, it is limited, but there's several hundred pips to be had in this limitation. If it comes to a 50% retracement, then that will be enough for us. We don't mind banking 200 or 300 pips if it's not in a parabolic trend. So this is the difference between the parabolic trend and the price action charts. They give you more opportunities more often, giving you more power to your elbow. Swiss yen red hot to 171.16. Euro yen I haven't marked, but again, you can see I'd like to see this come in a bit deeper, but it might not come into liquidity. Liquidity may well have been used here. The orders are in anyway, so it could just simply bounce off these major support areas and back into this uptrend here. Into a wave 5, so limited to 167.70, but that's 300 pips or so. So don't worry about that. We'll have a great risk to reward on this one as well. I'm just going to flick through these Swiss francs because they are all over the place at the moment. There's nothing really going on in terms of the Swiss franc. Aussie Swiss is interesting to me, and again using the price action charts combined with the parabolic trend. The Aussie Swiss is parabolic. All the buyers are in, and it's trying to push it into an uptrend. However, we do have a wave 3 correction coming up according to the wave analysis. So we do expect this price to come down to 58.35 before we get the big move. And that's the plan for this week, despite it being parabolic and everything agreeing. Just going to flip through now. If I spot anything, then I will let you know. This is the great thing about the advanced pro charts and the advanced price action charts. We can see what's going on. This is the Aussie Canadian. Again, it's coming into liquidity in an ABC pattern, so we could see the price move down, but it's not tradable event for me. Now the pound Aussie, this is parabolic to the downside, so I do expect this price to move down. However, there is a trend line here, but it looks like it's been broken, so we do expect this to go to 186.50 this week before we see the bounce. So that's about 300 or 400 pips. So that will be a nice one to have. So this is parabolic to the downside. I'll be giving you the trailing stops every day if you're a VIP member. Now this is not as good. As you can see, the Euro Aussie is not as good because it's coming into liquidity already. So even though it is parabolic to the downside, all the sellers are in and it's telling everybody to sell, we would not want to be selling into a demand area because the big dogs will eat you up for dinner. Aussie New Zealand, congratulations. We've had this going on for God knows how long. It's been a great trade. However, we do expect this to go higher. However, it's now into this liquidity zone. And once you see this, you don't want to be in it really because you're fighting against the crowd. There's highly likely to be a much deeper correction at some stage. Probably down to the buy zone demand area here before it starts to move up. So these tools give you the edge over everybody else. Euro New Zealand, yeah, nothing going on there. And nothing going on there. So my favorite trades for this week are the pound Aussie to the downside. The Canadian yen is red hot, so it's coming into wave 4. The pound yen, the euro yen, let's mark that, not in a trend, but nonetheless a good trade. Aussie USD to the downside if dollar goes strong. Gold, going to see a bounce this week, probably to the upside if dollar remains weak. Silver to the upside, $27.91. Oil to probably going to stay weak for now, but we could see a break. Aussie 200 sell, Hang Seng buy, Nasdaq buy, UK FTSE 100 buy, US 30 Dow Jones Index buy. Have a wonderful weekend, and I hopefully you'll find that you want to join us. I just want to give you the chance to join us. Just come to thetradingmentors.com. I'll give you free 14-day trial. So I'll give you all the analysis every day, full analysis every day on all markets, and you can trade at your own risk. And I'll also give you the stops and the targets every day, the trailing stops. So have a great weekend.